Lakes are supposed to be calm, beautiful, and fun, but there are a lot of creepy lakes in the world. Maybe it's their horrific past that makes them creepy, or maybe there's just a creepy aura about it. Lakes have always been seen as mysterious places. Most of the mysterious monster stories include some lakes. Maybe not true, but still very creepy. There really is something especially chilling about the creepy lakes of Europe, in my opinion. Even if the lake is calm and beautiful, there could still be some creepiness about it. So let's check out the 10 most horrifyingly mysterious lakes in the world. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Number 1. Lake Nyos. When we're talking about 17,000 people dying at a time, our mind goes to some natural disaster, like a volcanic eruption or an earthquake. This was a natural disaster too, but nothing like we've ever seen before. On August 21, 1986, a limnic eruption at Lake Nyos in northwestern Cameroon killed 1,746 people and around 3,500 livestock. The eruption triggered a sudden release of about 1.6 million tons, according to some sources, of carbon dioxide, which is CO2. The gas cloud initially rose at nearly 100 kilometers per hour, and then, being heavier than air, descended onto nearby villages, displacing all the air and suffocating the people and livestock within 25 kilometers of the lake. A degassing system has since been installed at the lake, with the aim of reducing the concentration of CO2 in the waters and therefore the risk of further eruptions. It is still not known how the eruption actually happened. Number 2. Lake Natrone, Tanzania. Lake Natrone is a mineral-rich soda lake in northern Tanzania at the border with Kenya. It's a breeding ground for hundreds of thousands of flamingos despite the highly alkaline state of the striking red waters. The lake is so red that it almost looks like a pool of blood, and for all we know, it might be one, because that's how scary it looks. The pH of the lake can reach greater than 12, which means that if the water of the lake goes in your mouth, you're as good as dead. This lake is a salt lake, which means that the water flows in, but it doesn't flow out. So the only way it can go out is through the process of evaporation. During the process, it leaves behind high concentrations of salt and other minerals, just like the Dead Sea. The lake is home to many dead animals. It has been reported that birds fall into the lake and die within a matter of minutes. But due to the high concentrations of alkaline, the inhabitants don't decompose. Then the bodies are filled with a bunch of chemicals, including salt, and it makes the bodies look like they're made of stone. No one can swim in this lake as the alkaline and salt level is way too high. Number 3. Dead Lake, Kazakhstan. Lake Kandy, also known as the Dead Lake in southern Kazakhstan, is one of the newest and most unique natural wonders of our planet. Although literally unknown in the West, if it was located in any European country, it would be its best tourist attraction. Especially beautiful in the fall, Lake Kandy boasts not only exceptionally attractive blue color of water and snowy rock mountains surrounding it, but also the unique silver trunks of dead tree spruces sticking out from the lake's surface. The flooded forest is indeed one of the natural landmarks of Kazakhstan. It all creates a fairy tale-like scenery not seen anywhere else. There's no other flooded lake in the world, and this lake looks very mysterious. The trunks of the trees look fascinating, just popping out of the water. Some stories of people disappearing in the lake have emerged, but nothing has ever been confirmed. But there is no doubt this is one of the most mysterious-looking lakes in the world. Number 4. Lake Baikal, Serbia. Lake Baikal is the oldest lake in the world. Containing more water than every lake in North America, it's one of the largest. The only reason it's on this list is that it just feels eerie. Basically, there are methane gas buildups in Lake Baikal that melt and form perfect circles in the lake. The weird thing, these circles aren't there every spring, and when they are, the largest ones are often so big, up to 2 miles in diameter, that they can be seen from space, and the Russian government has ordered satellite monitoring of the lake in order to see how the lake is melting. And they can only be seen from space. They're so enormous that they can't be seen at ground level or even at the tops of nearby mountains. No, they're not landing pads for flying saucers. At least not yet. Number 5. Lake Ten Norway. As one of Europe's most historically rich countries, Norway has loads of creepy lakes that we can look into. Lake Ten is one of the creepiest. Lake Ten is known internationally for the interest Adolf Hitler had in it. During the Nazi occupation of Norway, this lake was used to house a heavy water production facility for the Germans. The lake was also used to transport the heavy water to another location due to it being quite large. Heavy water was vital to the Nazis' advanced weapons program, so this lake was extremely important to them. In 1944, a Nazi transportation ship was moving heavy water across the lake. When it reached the deepest section of the lake, the Norwegian resistance attacked and sank it. Its wreck was only rediscovered in the 1990s. There are many more stories attached to it. Number 6. Gardner Lake, USA. Gardner Lake in Connecticut is a small lake with a big reputation. It's known for two things: being a great fishing destination and for being really haunted. In 1895, a local man decided to place his house onto a large sled and move it across the lake while it was frozen. He probably just wanted his house on the other side of the lake for some reason, but the ice suddenly cracked while he was halfway through his journey and it fell into the water below. The house has stayed there ever since, although a lot of it has rotted away by now. Legend tells that his house was, and still is, haunted. They say that even today you can hear the ghost playing the piano in the submerged house. A house inside a lake? Yeah, that has to be one of the top 10 scariest things in the world for us. Number 7. Blue Lake, Russia. Russian Blue Lake is very deep, mysterious, and uniquely beautiful, but scary. The deep blue waters of this stunning lake, hidden in Russia's deep and amazing mountains, are surrounded by mystery. It's uninhabited by fish and avoided by locals. Only occasional tourists, scientists, and divers dare swim here. Whatever the weather, its water temperature always stays the same, which is 9 degrees Celsius. And even though its underground water source hasn't yet been fully identified, 70 million liters of water flow out of it daily, giving birth to a small river. It is believed to be one of the deepest lakes in the world, at 846 feet or 258 meters deep. With unexplored caves, it may be even deeper. No rivers or streams seem to feed this body of water, not any that can be seen anyway. The lake is maintained by an underground source. While cave-fed, the water is extremely clear. Visibility can reach up to 131 feet depending on where you are in the lake. Even with proper diving gear, the depths of this lake are hazardous. A lot of people have tried finding out how deep it really is, and many have failed, with deaths occurring too. Some believe that the world's biggest underwater caves are there in this lake. Number 8. Anikuni Lake. Anikuni Lake is considered to be among the most creepy lakes in North America simply because of an old myth. In 1930, a journalist wrote about a small native village at the edge of the lake. Later that year, a fur trader discovered the village for himself, but it was completely devoid of human life. It was as if the population had just vanished. He found half-eaten food and dead animals. The village dogs seemed to have starved to death. We don't know what happened to the villagers or even if the story is true. It could just be a completely untrue myth, but still, it's creepy. Number 9. Coniston Water, England. Europe is filled with creepy and mysterious lakes. A prime example of a creepy lake in Europe is Coniston Water. It attracts people from far and wide because of its picturesque nature, which is why there are so many Victorian paintings of it. The lake was mentioned in the media in 1997 when something mysterious was discovered in it. Divers found what looked like an object wrapped up in bed sheets. Inside the sheets was the dead body of a local woman who was murdered soon before. Her body was weighed down by heavy scrap metal, so it was obviously dumped in the lake on purpose. You'd be surprised how many creepy lakes were perfectly normal before dead bodies were found in them. Number 10. Cameron Lake. Cameron Lake is on Vancouver Island and is one of the most creepy lakes in Canada. It is one of the most spooky and mysterious lakes in the world, with many too scared to even go near it. In 1968, an airplane crashed into the lake and sank deep below the surface. The plane contained 4 dead bodies. The wreck and dead bodies remained in the waters of the lake for over a decade before being discovered in 1983. That's just one creepy aspect of this lake. The other is the legendary monster said to occupy it. Local legend has long told of a serpent monster that rises to the water's surface to breathe just before resubmerging. And that sounds just like a silly myth. but some researchers claim to have evidence for its existence. That's our list of the 10 most horrifyingly mysterious lakes in the world. Which one are you willing to visit? Tell us in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.